Hello, my friends. So it's day 6 of working on this sweater, and as you can see, I've got Jane sort of modeling. Well, you can't see yet. Hold on. Oh, I finished the color work section that I really was most excited about. So I've got my 2 sets of pine boughs, and then it's curling up because it's on the needle and type. But then I've got this flowery vine thing that still needs a name. So yay, the color work is done. It's all knitting from here on out. I'm just about to do the next increase round, and that will be increasing not quite as many stitches. Do I have that right? Yes, because I'm switching from my color work gauge, which is about 6.5 stitches to the inch, to my stockinette gauge, which ended up being more like 6 stitches to the inch. So that is what's happening. It's not very exciting, except that George is at the door. I hear him scratching. George. Let's see if we can. Here, you see him? There he is. Hello, George. You coming in? Sorry, it's the the joys of working at home is my cat. Hey, Georgie. Psst, psst. Now, anyway, he's in the room now. He's gonna talk probably and be a pest, and then he'll want to go out again in a second, right, George? So yeah, I'm just finishing the color work. I'm excited, and I have a lot of the gray yarn left. Hold on, I'm gonna just grab that. Nope, that's the blue. Here's the gray. So I will need to weigh this. Get out my scales now, actually. Here. While I'm talking to you and tell you how much I used. So these were 50-gram skeins. And now that I have finished the color work, let me turn this on. I have one of these little OXO scales. These are great. I highly recommend a yarn scale. It really will help with a lot of things. Okay, so let me zero it out, and that's ounces. That's not going to be helpful. I have 39 grams left from my 50-gram skein. So I'll need to do the proper math when I'm grading the whole pattern. I mean, I've done all the numbers, but to calculate how much yarn. But it is possible that you will only need 1 skein for all sizes. So I'll have to do the math, figure out the number of stitches in the gray rounds, and then go from there as to how many skeins of yarn we'll need. I usually do estimates based off of the finished sample weight. It's a little different with 2 colors. So I'll have to do a little bit more careful calculations, I think. And I try to be reasonably generous. Like when I'm calculating the number of stitches used in a sleeve, I usually use the upper sleeve circumference number of stitches for the whole sleeve, so that you end up you should have a little yarn left over. You have that right. It all works out when I do the math, and if you look at the shapes, they sort of fit together, and it makes sense to me. And so far, my estimates always seem to be fairly accurate. I haven't heard from anybody that they're not. So hopefully, either I will end up just with basically having used 10 grams in the colorwork section and leave it at that, or I may decide to add another band of colorwork somewhere, maybe on the upper arm or by the wrist, or I might do a turned hem, although I was thinking of doing ribbing. But a turned hem, you do like a purl ridge, and then that causes the fabric to flip under. And oftentimes people will do a contrasting color for the inside of the turned hem. So I could do that for the hem and cuffs potentially. I still do want to do a roll neck here, and I cast on provisionally. So at the end I will go back and pick up, but I want it to be in the blue color, not in the gray. So, but obviously that would be an option for people who really wanted to use up all their second color, all their CC. So So that's where I am now. Now I'm going to just start doing, I'm going to have a bunch more stitches after my increases, and then I'm going to need to do a little more work to get it to be deep enough. And I'm sorry, George's litter box is right nearby. So hopefully we won't have to re-record this. Are you finished, buddy? Welcome to my reality. Okay. This is like slice of life podcasting here. So now I'm going to work stockinette on the yoke, just in the blue, until the yoke is deep enough, and presumably I have calculated correctly, and there will be enough stitches on there to go all the way around, like about here. So it's the upper arms and the top of the bust, and then I will be able to split the sleeves from the body, and I'll probably work the body first, although I'm tempted kind of to work the sleeves first, because I find working the sleeves last, that's one of the things I don't enjoy about top down when I've done it in the past. So maybe I'll try doing the sleeves first and then the body, because then I can sort of tuck the sleeves inside the body rather than having them all flop around. But also I don't like doing the sleeves and then everything else is flopping around as you're doing one sleeve. So I've got a little while to go, maybe a day or two of knitting before I have to really make that decision, because I need, as I said, I'm going to increase a bunch of stitches, and then I'm going to have to knit, I think, about an inch. Let me find my measuring tape. So, all right, here we are. We're doing one-handed work. This is, it says knit like a local. Whoop, sorry. Here we go. Out of my little notions pouch. Aww. And I love this because it's got the little handle. All right, so we're gonna measure. And this is very inaccurate. I will do it more closely, but we're at like 5.5. We're probably at about 6 inches deep. So I probably want another 2 inches of fabric from here down before it's time to split. So I think I have 8 inches in my pattern. And then I'll grade that out for the different sizes too. So your yoke depth will be a little different depending on the size that you're knitting. But as Elizabeth Zimmerman and Meg Swanson will say, generally a yoke is no deeper than between 10 and 11 inches, no matter how big the size. Because otherwise it just is too big, and most people aren't. Even if they are bigger, broader, and need a bigger size, there's only so much variation in humans between the shoulder and the underarm. You're not going to suddenly have a 15-inch armhole depth. So that is where I am, and I don't know that I'll have much interesting tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll get around to doing that chart and show you how that happens in InDesign, because I'm going to be knitting a lot of stockinette, which won't be nearly as exciting. But actually tomorrow you will be able to see that pattern better, because there'll be more fabric below it. So until tomorrow, thanks for stopping by. Happy knitting.